I have to make my green screen wider. Um, just some news last 2 or 3 days. Nothing earth-shattering that you haven't already heard. But Maryland has tried to ban assault-style weapons. It was upheld by a federal appeals court. Now, it's got many more appellate procedures to go through before it gets to the Supreme Court. But Maryland is very liberal, and I'm from there. I used to hunt all the time, but I'd like somebody to tell me, what is an assault-style weapon? I mean, let's see, I have a .22 rifle. If I put a bayonet on it, is that an assault weapon? I have a Kentucky long rifle, 50 caliber. If I put a bayonet on that, is that an assault weapon? If so, if I put a bayonet on my wife's broom, is that an assault weapon? I think we know what we're talking about, guns that do a lot of shooting, hold a lot of bullets. And if they could take that away, then the next thing would be my lever-action rifle. And the next thing would be single-shot guns, then BB guns, slingshots. And so this is a case that I really don't want to see the camel get its nose under the tent. But at some point in time, I'd like to have an honest discussion about weapons. There is too much murder here in the United States. But even if you could ban every weapon out, there's an old adage. When you invent a better mousetrap, and that's what you would have, shortly afterwards, you're going to end up with a better mouse. So there's other ways to do harm to people. I'm not going to go into it. Don't want to give somebody an idea. Excuse me a second here. Okay, what else we got here? Harris plans to stop price gouging, and the critics, already the economists, people that know, that really know, are saying this is create more problems than it will solve. Yes, it will. When President Nixon was in there, for 90 days, he stopped prices going up. It was called Phase 3. And it created more problems. For example, if a company was competing for employees, they couldn't pay more than the other competition. So they started giving free insurance. And that's where the insurance programs comes at today. And it got so bad, Roland Martin, which had Laugh-In, Goldie Hawn on there, and a lot of people, and they were doing a imitation, and they said in honor of President Nixon's Phase 3 program, his picture would go on the $20 postage stamp. And when that joke was made, gasoline for a car was 33 cents a gallon. Okay, so it's not going to work. And what is price gouging? Let's talk about that. We already have price gouging laws in other states, especially places like Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, places where hurricanes came through. Gouging is not when you got a profit margin. It's like a grocery store making 1.5 cents on what they sell, or it was 1 3/4 when Trump was in there. Gouging was intended, say a hurricane is coming through, and a man has, or a company has a case of a whole warehouse full of bottled water. That would sell ordinarily about $5 for 32 bottles at a Walmart or someplace like that. But then people started selling it for $10 to $15 because you got to have water. Well, that's when they came. That's gouging. It's wrong. Although if you buy something, you should be able to sell for what you want, but that is taking advantage of people. And of course, we can do better than that as Americans. The economists again are warning us Harris price control plans has been tried in Venezuela, Argentina, Soviet Union, and it's really just what communists do. Again, we'll go back and touch on it a little bit. When they start doing that, that really sets in panic. Then people rush in to buy, things off the shelves. George Bush, 41, had some problems. He mentioned that if he was to accidentally come out and say there's no salt shortage in America, and there wasn't, if he just said it right away, everybody'd run to the store and buy it up. So, not a good way to go. Now, some of the people out in California are really mad about the night parking of these driverless car taxis. They keep beeping the horns at each other all night long, keeping them awake. Well, driverless cars is new. When we come out with cars in around 1911, we had a lot of problems there. Sometimes cars and horses didn't get along too good. Let's see. Now, Supreme Court strikes down Biden and Harris's Title IX change that some argues would allow men in women's restrooms and women's sports. Men competing in physical women's sports is not a good idea. A man is stronger than a woman. You can pass all the laws that you want to, all the laws, but a pregnant woman cannot play professional football. And they know that. It's not fair. And these girls, they start out in first year high school, working their butts off, getting ready to compete. Then some man comes along, gets a knife, goes under the knife, says he's a woman, strong as a bull, and the girl loses out every time. That's not right. It's not realistic. And we need to, we don't need men going into the women's bathrooms. Let's see. Now, California, this is something pretty good. They usually don't come out with good ideas. California teachers want cell phones used by students in schools curbed. And that's right. You go to school to get an education. And even if you don't want an education, the law says you're supposed to get one until you're 18. You don't have a right to be on a cell phone interfering with somebody else's getting an education. So California gets 5 stars from me on that. And also, while they're at it, why don't they get around the first 3 or 4 hours in the morning? First 3 or 4 hours in the morning, you teach the basics. Now, RFK Jr. is not going to be allowed to have his name on the ballot in New York. Judge rules he's not a citizen there. I don't quite understand how it works. A candidate can only be a resident of one city at a time, or one state. So probably the Biden-Harris administration has something to do with that. I don't know that for facts, but I don't know. Everybody else is on 50 states. Now, China again is rattling its chop stick sword of heavy prices for Japan after lawmakers visited Taiwan. Well, I think Japan and Taiwan have allegiance there. I hope they don't start a shooting war. It's, I think if Trump gets in, we have a better chance that it won't happen. And Matthew Perry's, was found drowned in his swimming pool from illegal drugs. I can't even pronounce the word. It's the type of drugs they give you when they go operate on, put you to sleep. And basically, it was a couple doctors and a friend of his or somebody making money off this man's weakness. Drugs are bad. I was no stranger to alcohol for many years. I was a good old boy. I liked to go out and drink with my buddies. But drugs I never did. And I was always afraid of them for a couple reasons. I don't want somebody owning me, and I don't want to die. And that's a good way to go. Now, next week, the Democrat National Convention. And boy, you watch the fireworks fly there. She's going to be coronated. She's going to be the greatest thing since the invention of the wheel. She's going to cure all our problems. But ask you a question. First of all, then it's going to be a whole bunch of wackos come up there and make a bunch of ridiculous statements, and I imagine they'll have fist fights before it's over with. But as an older person, I can tell you, I've learned to notice when people are telling me lies. So she's going to reduce the prices at the store. Look for her to tell you how she's going to do it. When you start hearing stuff, we're going to get input. We're going to reach across the aisle. We're going to bring the younger people in. We're going to sponsor blue ribbon panels to address these problems. And if only the Republicans would cooperate, well, if they don't tell you what they're going to do, Trump told you what he was going to do the last time when he named the Supreme Court justices. He's telling you what he's going to do this time. First day, he's going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to close the border down. He's going to try to get more opportunity for people of color. He's going to tackle inflation. And it goes on and on and on. Can you do it? Well, he's pretty ambitious, I'll tell you that. But he kept all of his promises in 2016, and he did much, much more. The Democrats, and this is my opinion, when they got into office, inflation was transitory. Of course, prices are going up. We go in the grocery store nowadays, and we rush to get through there before the prices go up on us again. War every war, billions of dollars worth of our hardware, and I hope Trump goes in and gets it, left over in Afghanistan. That hardware does not grow on trees. It costs me money, it costs you money, and it's very insulting to the boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen who have given their life to make us free. The Biden, the Trump administration, in my opinion, is just a bunch of windbags. Before they blow up the windbag, they check the political windsock outside. If on Monday it faces north, that's what they were talking about. Next day, if it faces south, they'll change the structure. But look, we had a little bit to talk about tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. And